That's the classic Xbox 360 moment, playing these old school games. Shot way over here. Where is Juhani hanging out? She's in there.
How may I be of assistance?
I was wondering if we could talk.
What is it you would like to speak to me about?
How did you come to be a Jedi?
How I came to be a Jedi? I am sure you would not find it very interesting. Are you sure you would like to hear?
Yes, please continue.
Well, it goes back a number of years. Back on my homeworld, we did not see Jedi very often, especially where I lived.
Where'd you live?
The hind end of space. A pit of a world, to be sure, where Jedi rarely tread. But we had heard of them. Well, everyone had, so that is not to be unexpected. Champions of truth, defenders of justice, heroes of the Republic. It was very easy for a child to be enthralled by their image, their mystique. Maybe I was one of those children.
Did you meet a Jedi?
Yes. Yes, I did. When I saw a Jedi for the first time, they lived up to everything my imagination had created them to be. I was awed, and maybe a little enamored.
Enamored?
They were quite striking, especially the tales of their leader. From that moment on, I knew that I would have to try to become a Jedi. To lift myself out of the rut I had been living in for years, and to make a real difference, as the Jedi were. The foolish delusions of a child. But this child made it happen. As soon as I was able, I left my world and went in search of them. I found them and was accepted. I had been living my dream on Dantooine for several years before you came. Although, perhaps I was not entirely ready for it. Or not completely suited to the task. Otherwise, I would not have fallen. But thanks to you, I have been redeemed. Perhaps I may yet live to see that dream of mine come true. Come, there is much we should do. Let us not waste time talking. Action is what is needed.
Okay. We'll just talk to everybody real quick. Do you know anything about the plan we're on? I wonder if you could help me with the problem. Nah. T3. Can you construct a programming spec for me, T3? You don't talk much, do you? Just chime in if you ever have any advice. Cute little guy. Where is Bastila? No, she's in the bridge. Wow. Let's see here. Canderous.
Yeah, what do you want?
I was wondering if you had any more war stories.
I was one of the best youth warriors in the clan Ordo in my time. No one before me had mastered the power of our basilisk war droids as quickly as I had. Except Mandalore himself, of course. In those days, we were sweeping across the Outer Rim, destroying all who fought us. Young Mandalores would prove themselves in real combat with unknown opponents above 1,000 worlds. Each brought back stories of his achievements.
What was your story?
I remember it well, orbiting high above a placid world, its defenses just stirring. As was tradition, I would go ahead of the first wave to find enemies in the thickest fighting. I remember sitting there in my armor, linked directly with the basilisk thrumming beneath me, my heart racing with fear of the coming battle.
I didn't think Mandalorians got afraid.
Every new warrior has to fear to understand how to beat it. You must know that. The doors opened in front of me, and the air was sucked out of the drop bay, scattering crystals of frozen vapor across my path. I can't describe what it feels like to look directly down at a world, falling continuously as you circle it, with barely 15 centimeters of armor plate protecting you. When the magnetic locks disengaged on my droid, I plunged out of the drop bay towards the battle that waited below.
You dropped from orbit riding a droid?
The exhilaration, the euphoria I felt as I streaked into the atmosphere, dodging self-guided projectiles and beam weapons, was unmatched. An 80-kilometer plunge through the atmosphere, dodging and weaving, the outside of my armor glowing like the sun with the heat of re-entry. And with barely 30 meters to spare, I twisted and skimmed the surface, firing at the giant beam generators that were in my path. The explosion from that sent shock waves that leveled the entire complex around it. It was the moment of my life.
That was some fight.
I'll never forget those times. But things are different now. We can't go on fighting the way we did. There are too few of us left now. But I really don't want to talk about this anymore. I trust I've satisfied your curiosity for now. Is there something else you want to know?
Nothing more for now.
Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
Mandalorians. Let's see here. It's the turret. Big Z. Where's Mission? There she is.
Huh? Oh, sorry. I was thinking about Terrace. I still can't believe it's gone. I mean, I grew up there and now it's just gone.
Malak will pay for what he did, Mission. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
I don't really think there's anything you can say. I just have to find some way to deal with it, I guess. It'll take some time. Look, I'm not saying I can't go on or anything like that. It's a shock, you know? I mean, I knew the Sith were evil and all, but the reality of it kind of slaps you in the face. But I suppose that's why we need to stop Malak, right? The more time I spend dwelling on Terrace, the more chance some other planet will get wiped out. I guess that's what it comes down to. So don't worry about me. I'll be okay. And if you need my help against Malak or the Sith, I'll be there for you.
Alright, good to know. Bastila?
How can I help?
Do you have something you want to ask me?
I do. How did you know?
Well, your face is all scrumbled up like a Carth pump. Well, you keep staring at me. See anything you like? Educated guess from the way you keep staring. Let's see what she says.
A Kinrath pup. It most certainly is not. I am a Jedi, remember? I have far too much mental discipline to reveal what goes on inside my mind with such obvious physical clues. My thoughts remain hidden, including whatever my feelings are for you. I mean, whatever I feel... whatever I think about you.
You're so cute when you're embarrassed.
That is you... Why must you be so impossibly infuriating? You know very well what I am really talking about. I am referring to the bond between us, the one the Jedi Council spoke of.
Our connection allows us glimpses into each other's mind. We can feel some of what the other feels, and what I feel within you troubles me. A Padawan must receive considerable training. They must learn to control their emotions and darker impulses. Often it takes years before using the Force can be considered safe. The fact that you are so strong in the Force and have had such relatively little training could have terrible consequences. For you, and for everyone around you.
What do you think I should do?
I don't think there's much you can do. If things were different, I would recommend several years of training under one of the Jedi Masters. But I fear that won't be possible. Thankfully, you've exhibited a degree of compassion and self-control up to this point. I sincerely hope you can maintain these traits in the future.
We must all resist the influence of the dark side. It's everything we are fighting against. This is doubly important for you, with your natural affinity for the Force.
I will try.
That's good to hear. Without the proper training, however, I'm afraid you will find the path difficult even with the best of intentions. There is great danger ahead for both of us. Our destinies are intertwined. Everything one of us does will have consequences for the other. Any reckless behavior on your part is likely to affect me as well.
I won't do anything to hurt you. It works both ways, doesn't it? You can help me stay strong.
Yes, that is true. I will do my best to guide you, but I am no master. Not yet. And there are times when I find the sheer strength of your power almost overwhelming. Your power could be a gift or a curse. When you need guidance or advice or support, I will do my best to help you stay on the path of the light.
I would appreciate any help you could offer.
I only hope I have the wisdom to help you through the dark times. But for now, we should return to our mission.
Alright, and Carth.
Yes, what's on your mind?
You've been very quiet lately, you know that?
Have I been quiet? Suppose I have. I guess I just don't like being left out of the loop.
Left out of the loop? I don't understand.
Left out of the loop, you know, not being told anything, strung along. It's really starting to irritate me. For one thing, I want to know what the Jedi Council said to you. They pulled you in there and refused to tell me a thing about it. I'm rather curious to know what went on, and why they didn't keep you on Dantooine for training. Isn't that strange?
Why should anything the Jedi do seem strange to you? So, why don't you ask Bastila?
I'd be more than happy to, but she's as closed-mouthed as the rest of the Council. I'm hoping you'll be the one to enlighten me.
Why should anything the Jedi do seem strange to you? I thought it was more important that I help find the star maps than stay.
And why is that? You were a great help on Terrace, but why would they keep you with us? Don't they have to train you?
They said there's a bond between Bastila and myself.
A bond? What kind of bond? You mean to say that they told you that you were tied to Bastila in some way? I have trouble believing that. You're a neophyte Padawan who's been saddled with the responsibility of tracking down these star maps. Why? That's not normal. I am not trying to provoke you or to imply that you're somehow responsible for the Jedi Council, but give me a hand here. There has to be a reason.
Are you saying I'm not needed? I'm here and that's not going to change. Get over it. I'm sick of listening to you. Bastila and I have a bond. We have to do this together. That's all I'm going to say.
And what does that mean? Is this more of that destiny garbage that the Jedi keep talking about? Well, that can't be it. Well, I'll tell you this much, I'm not going to wait around until I'm betrayed again.
I'm not going to betray you. I'm not Saul.
Yeah, we'll just see about that, won't we? Look, I didn't mean it that way. I want to get to Saul, not... No, forget it. It just seems that all I can do is insult you, isn't it? Just forget I said anything. Let's just get on with what we were doing.
Oh, Carth. Alright. Now we gotta go on our quest. Where do we want to go first? There is a strategic order to this. Oh, Manon's in... Yeah, Corbin. Dantooine is... Oh, it's not as far out into the Outer Rim as I thought it was. Of course, Tatooine and Kashyyyk are. I think we will go to Kashyyyk first and pick up some other people.